Yo, what's up, gamers? All right. Um, Aaron Shack here with Shackcast episode number 74, I believe we're at. And we have special guest Acting Relic here to join us. We're going to talk about a number of things from his recent trip to Tokyo. We have news about the Creed Black Flag remake. There's some rumors around that. I know we want to talk about Borderlands 4, Nintendo, and its DLC. The Space Marine 2 update. We're going to dive in and talk about our impressions of that. And then, of course, I have recently read the Warhammer 40K book, First and Only. And so we're going to provide you guys a spoiler-free talk on that, and then I'll have like a later video where we can dive into that with spoilers. So, welcome, Acting Relic. How are you doing, man?
So, man, I'm doing pretty good. It's finally starting to cool down here. I don't know how it is in your side of the world, but it's not apocalyptic hot anymore.
It's hot as hell. It's crazy.
Yes. So if you don't know who I am, I'm the voice who constantly badgers Aaron to play various games, including Monster Hunter. I'm the person who spits out lore and information for most any 40K videos that he makes, some of which is correct, some of which is my best interpretation of what I'm reading. Yes, so
don't forget all the Dark Souls and Elden Ring stuff, by the way. Yeah, don't forget, being a presence very heavily in all those games and the lore of that as well. But yeah, go on, please.
And then I occasionally, when I finally decide to actually open up DaVinci Resolve and work on stuff, I occasionally put out videos, presently working our way through all the footage that I have for my subsistence run of Ghost Recon Breakpoint right now, and then occasionally when I feel like it, I open up OBS to stream my challenge run for Elden Ring. But I enjoy being the nebulous force in other people's stuff at present.
And we love it. We absolutely love it. Don't forget the music stuff too. I think you were dabbling into that as well.
That too. And of course, on top of all that, what part of what we're going to talk today about is that I live in Japan, so I have access to the ability to just go on a Japanese summer trip that would cost many people, the flight cost alone would be a multiple year save up, is like, oh, I'll just get the train and go to Tokyo. It's not so hard.
My God. Launched the video. Okay, there it is. Got it. Already. Please go ahead. Yeah, if you have anything else to say.
So I've sent Aaron a link to the video that I've shown to a few people that I put together of my Tokyo trip. It's not technically all of it. It's sort of just a narrated cut together of the majority of stuff that I did. One of the things that skipped over in that video is my entire trip to the Games Workshop store, but it's one of those things of, if you know 40K, it's like, oh wow, that's really cool. If you don't know 40K, going through that segment requires a whole bunch of additional explanation that it's not really necessary to do. Yeah. You're just trying to show people like, hey, I went on a fun trip. It's just like, well, why is this store interesting? And it's like, well, that's going to take a while to explain.
Absolutely. I mean, I know we were just breaking down some of the figurines that you saw there in some of our Warhammer 40K videos, so I might need to cut that one out and make that a separate one where we can have that to reference. But yeah. All right, so do we want to go ahead and check out this video here?
Sure.
Okay. Bring his screen here. There we go. All right, let's take a look. Oh man, that's gorgeous.
Hello everyone! I hope you had a wonderful summer vacation. Today, I want to show you a few places I went to this summer. I hope you enjoy. This summer, I went to Tokyo. I have been to Tokyo 3 times. I stayed in Tokyo for 1 week. I arrived in Shinagawa on Thursday and went to my hotel to sleep. On Friday, I went to Nakano. I wanted to go shopping for some anime goods for my friends. I found a few interesting character goods and some stickers. I also bought one of my favorite music albums, Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Oh, that's cool.
On Saturday, I went to Harajuku to buy some new shoes.
So once you, I think, watch it through, and then I'll kind of, we can basically watch it again with mute, and I can explain a few things.
Shoes.
Yeah,
I did
please.
a little more shopping, then I went to have some ramen. On Sunday, I went to Akihabara. I got there early to not wait in line for stores and to take some pictures and videos of the buildings. I went shopping for some anime figures, but I didn't find anything I wanted to buy. But I did go for dinner. I went to the Monster Hunter Cafe. Monster Hunter is my favorite game, so I was really excited to visit the cafe. It was cool to see things from the games on the walls, like weapons and armor. For dinner, I had a Zenogre lychee soda, a dragon steak, a Jindahad cake, and a Palico iced coffee. The food was great, and I really enjoyed the cafe. On Monday, I went to Roppongi Hills Tower. I went to see the special 50th anniversary for Galaxy Express 39. 39 is my favorite anime. I'm a big fan of science fiction and love the characters and stories from 39. At the exhibit, there was a model of the 39 train and lots of artwork from the anime. You can also see Tokyo Tower from the window. There was an amazing collection of artwork from artist Leiji Matsumoto from 39, Captain Harlock, and Battleship Yamato. You can't take pictures of the collection, so I bought this gallery book to remember what artwork I saw. I also bought some character goods too. After the exhibit, I had some lunch at an Italian restaurant in the tower. On Tuesday, I relaxed and walked around near my hotel. On Wednesday, I went to Shibuya. First, I took some pictures of the Hachiko statue. Next, I went to an Australian restaurant called Bill's for some breakfast. Then I went to the Ota Art Museum to see Hokusai's paintings of Mount Fuji. The collection was amazing to look at, with many different paintings to see. You can't take pictures of the art collection, so I bought this collection book to remember what pieces of Hokusai's artwork I saw. On Thursday, I took the train home. Tokyo was lots of fun, and I hope to go there again soon.
That video is killer. Are you kidding me? The guy editing, man. That is so cool. Oh, man. Okay. Wow. So should we watch without the sound? Is that helpful?
Yeah, I think that's a way of doing
Good
things.
way to kind of tab through, and we can pause at certain parts.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I should do is probably share the live footage with you.
Sure,
that way you're
we
not
can do
like
that.
watching a delayed.
Delay.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's not gonna work very well.
And pause here, Aaron. Pause here, Aaron.
Yeah, pause here, please. Goodness sake, you missed it. All right, there it is. Hopefully that helps.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so we're back at the beginning here.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's your train ride.
If you ever need really good footage for stuff, literally just stick your phone out the or on the window.
Yeah.
Of the high speed rail. Like,
Are you
get
kidding?
really good shots.
I'd love to see this like at night too, like when everything's all lit up. But even in the daytime, I mean, it's gorgeous, gorgeous countryside and the architecture of the buildings and stuff that you get to see.
Mm-hmm. And you get to see the sort of like rapid shifts back and forth between sort of modern and like various years of architecture.
Yeah, I think we saw some older buildings here. Very fast. That's so cool. So you said you went 2019, 2023, and 2025. There you go.
Yeah, so 2019, that was vacation proper to Japan, coming with my uncle and visiting with a friend of his who lives here.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2013 was my first time traveling there while living here.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then 2025 has been sort of my second proper living here trip. And this year was the first time it was just me, nobody else. So I got to pick and choose what I wanted to do.
That's a big deal. You feel like a real adult when you're you're like going on your own like solo vacation with no like older adult babysitting, making sure you don't get in trouble and stuff.
You can do whatever you want. You can follow within the time scales of stuff. You can ignore it and just like relax. Like, it's all up to you.
Mm-hmm. Very true. I think Pepsi here said, "This is awesome. Make a travel show, Acting Relic. Become an adventurer vlogger."
One of the people that I look up to in terms of part of coming to Japan, basically went on that path of started as an English teacher in Japan and then moved into being a basically travel vlogging narration style personality, and that's what he does as a job now.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, the option's there. You got half the job done. You've done the English teacher. Now you're just like barely dabbling into the vlogging. Oh, look at that. That is so cool. Skyline.
Yeah, like Shinagawa intersects, I don't know. I think it's because there's the high speed rail. And then there's at least a couple various sort of mid-tier commuter trains, and then there's all the different subway systems of like Tokyo has, what is it, 8 different subway lines that cover the city and basically, or cover the greater city, because Tokyo, describing Tokyo as a city is downplaying it a bit. It's multiple cities mashed together. It's and all connected by this absolute spider web of a transit system. It works exceptionally well, but it's, you look at the map of the subway system and without like doing it consistently enough to understand it, it can be very tricky to travel on, because it's like, so I take this line for 2 and then switch over to this line for another 3 and then I'm good.
Goodness sake.
Kind of thing. Yeah. So there are a lot of train tracks.
And what's the high-speed rail like?
High-speed rail is pretty nice. It's depending on like, say, train that I took, which is Nagoya to Shinagawa in Tokyo, is about an hour and a half or so, whereas if I wanted to do it by like sort of regular train, maybe take something like 3 hours or more.
Yeah, that could be a big chunk of your day then. Yeah.
It's basically the way that you look at high-speed rail is that if you are traveling long distances between major cities, it's definitely worth it. You are paying more. Like, it's not... I'm trying to remember what the ticket was. I think it was like $70 or something like that. But like it just works. Like, and what's crazy is that they're presently working on the next stage, the next evolution, which is their high-speed maglev, which is... So right now, Shinagawa to Nagoya, or either way around, is about an hour and a half. They're purporting that when they achieve high-speed maglev, it will be 40 minutes.
Goodness sake.
Basically cut in half.
Yeah. No,
But
that's amazing.
that might also come with double the price of
Yeah, that's probably true.
Like, how much do you need to like get to the other side of things? Like, how bad do you need it?
Right.
Whereas I've been quite happy with like the speed and consistency of the high speed rail in Japan. Like, it just works. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I wish we had stuff like that here. I wish we had better transit systems.
Believe me, I'm not envying like going back to Canada whenever I have to, because I'm like, fuck, none of these goddamn systems work. Train doesn't work, bus doesn't work, none of it fucking works.
And in America, we're literally avoiding that type of system, because we're built around cars, like
the entire system's built around cars.
So we would have to completely change everything if we were going to do rails, and all the big corporations wouldn't make money unless they were involved. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pepsi says, I imagine people spilling their drink when the train starts. If only cartoon physics were real, I guess, is what he
meant. Yeah, I'm interested to see, like, what is it like to ride on the super high speed maglev, because riding on the Shinkansen is like, it's such... That's the other part of it is they feel like airplanes. They're very much designed in the same sort of shape as an airplane, and same seating arrangement as well. But the ride is so smooth. Like, you can sit and work and do tons of stuff while on the train, and like you never have to be worried about stuff.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I honestly, I've had shakier train rides on the local like commuter trains.
Yeah. Oh yeah, on the older technology, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Man, that's gorgeous. Let's see what else you have here. I'm totally fascinated by trains, so I could find a lot of interest in the very mundane nature of trains that might bore other people. So what is this right here? This anime guy here.
That's a little art card from the manga and anime Berserk. Berserk is one of my favorite Japanese stories of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really cool to find this little card work of art. A lot of Berserk inspired a lot of souls. Like, a lot. If you ever end up exploring Berserk, Aaron, you go,
I might.
Oh, that's where that's from. I think
it's gonna happen someday. It's
like, you can very clearly tell. It's like, oh, this is where Iron Eye comes from.
Oh, dude. Okay, well, that makes more sense now. Okay, what's all this other stuff on the right here?
That's from one that I haven't read personally. I believe that's from Uzumaki, which is a horror manga. A lot of my friends are big fans of the writer and artist behind it. So I was just like, I'll grab that box of stickers and see if anybody wants them. Just because like I have no personal affinity to it, but I respect the craft that is coming up with really creepy looking creatures.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I definitely need to check out the Berserk. Yeah, I gotta check that out. Whether it's the game or the show. And then and then you said this. Okay, so tell us about your affinity for this. Yeah.
So I fucking love Pink Floyd.
Okay.
I think Floyd is one of the best bands of all time. I think The Wall is one of the best albums of all time. So I was in a music shop in Nakano looking for a particular Japanese artist that I really like, who's the composer to the Berserk anime and games. Ended up finding the CD after there was a guy in the shop, might have been like 22, 24, and I had the album art on my phone, and I was looking around, and he kind of tapped me on the shoulder. He's like, "Oh, over here." And then he like really kind of smiled at me, and he was like, nice taste. I was like, "Yes, let's go."
What? That's so cool. Oh man.
So I saw this at the counter, and it's like, huh, I wonder what's in that. And I kind of like pulled up some artwork to try and figure out what that box is. While this is the size of an LP, like a proper vinyl record, it's not an LP.
Really?
What it is that it is the original studio album. I believe it's actually the 2015 remaster of the album, I want to say. It is a cut of the live studio performance or live concert performance from about 84, plus the demo tapes. And then also The Wall, the movie, and the documentary that goes with it, as well as a few other art cards and stuff like that. I bought this solely because I wanted a physical copy of the movie, because getting a physical copy of the Wall movie now is almost impossible. They just don't print them anymore. And if they do, they're encoded in other countries' codecs that won't run on North American players.
Yeah, so when you get home, you can't watch it.
Exactly. You can't even do anything with it. I did the same thing for when Daft Punk decided to stop touring and stuff. It's like, I need a copy of Interstellar 5555 because I will never be able to get one if I don't get it now.
That's very true.
Because they will become, so I'm very interested to crack this thing open when I come home, because I have a few friends that are really big Pink Floyd fans, and I showed them. It's like, I have this. I'm not going to open it until I get home.
Dude, this is a gem, and I mean, it shows the value of physical collections of things.
And regular retails for about 160. I bought for 90.
Woo! And you got a deal. It's like, even for everything that's in there, like $90 is still a steal.
Yep.
Goodness. And that art is gorgeous too. So I mean, that's really cool.
If you've never seen The Wall, the movie, go watch the movie.
I don't know if I've seen it.
It is the trippiest thing I have probably seen in a long time. But if you understand all the, like, what all of the images in the movie mean and what the overall story of The Wall means from Water's perspective and all that, it's very cool.
Oh, that's dope. That's awesome. What a find. And just the luck of being able to find that immediately. Oh, you got some boots here?
So I wanted, I went to Harajuku to buy some new running shoes, because the shoes that I had were just, they were not helping me do anything. And it was just like, if I'm going to do a whole lot of walking, I need new shoes. But I wanted a cutaway piece when I showed this to people that would make them smile, of having these ridiculously like, because you've got the boots, the giant platforms, and then you've also got these specialized, what I feel like are only popular in Japan, like platform shoes, because they're not boots. The ones on the lower there of the black and the white and the red, they're like just shoes with more on the bottom of them. And there's like this whole fashion culture in Japan that really enjoys this aesthetic.
Really? That's interesting.
I don't quite understand it, but like I see the people who walk around with them on, is like, that's commitment. That's commitment
It's
to
a look.
style.
Yeah.
It's a look. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. It probably adds a couple extra inches to your height, huh?
Most of the people who wear them are like women who are maybe 5 foot.
Yeah, so they're like super short, and so that lift gets them a little more with the rest of us closer. That is so cool. Oh, that's dope. Oh, look at that. Okay, and that's a close-up of the white pair there.
That's a close-up of the...
That's a significant lift, man.
Running shoe. That's, yeah, it's like...
But is it well cushioned? Are they saving some space for like a sole or anything?
I've tried to understand, like, are they actually comfortable to wear? All I've ever heard is that they're actually not.
Oh, no. Not.
It's just for style.
That's funny. Oh man, Iceman wants to know when you're going to Dubai. That's crazy.
I don't know.
Pepsi Cola says goth punk. Yeah, definitely some goth punk vibes on those boots.
I could feel that.
That's really cool. So you said not very comfortable in reality.
What I've heard is not very comfortable in reality. I've never done a try on to see how they fit my sort of stance and such.
Yeah. Well, that is really cool. But you got some running shoes though.
These are the real ones that I bought. These are cloud walkers built from, I believe, a company in like Switzerland or something like that. They're just good, consistent shoes.
Yeah, perfect.
I've been happy with them.
Oh, I was like, I wouldn't go mock you if you got the lifts, you know. Be like, I mean, you're in Japan, you might as well. Okay, and what do you have here food-wise? This is interesting.
Yeah, so I just end up finding a ramen shop that was relatively near to my hotel, so I just went got a bowl of ramen with a side of extra chashu pork and then a thing of rice, because it's one of those things where not everybody does it, but I've come to really enjoy the aspect of you have your bowl of ramen and then you use you eat the rice separately from the ramen, but you basically use the rice to absorb the raw amount of salt that you're consuming. It kind of balances things out, I would say.
Right.
So yeah, I just it was a pretty nice shop. I like the way they did their stuff. It was pretty good price overall. I think it was maybe like $15 for all of that or something like that.
No, that's a great meal right there. Yeah. For the price. And it looks delicious too.
Oh.
I mean, you have access to a whole cuisine that's very unique. Now tell us about these towers here. This is all the gaming and I don't know, I think this is hobby shop.
Yeah. So this is what Akihabara is like, is because space, especially in Tokyo, is at a premium, instead of building a larger sort of like warehouse style building to house all these different things of figures, games, model kits, cosplay costumes, all that kind of stuff, build vertically and have each floor of a building dedicated to something in particular.
It's insane.
So if you want games, you go to this floor. If you want figures, you go to this floor. If you're interested in all of it, you end up spending like an hour or two climbing up this building.
Wow. Well, that's how you stay thin.
You walk everywhere.
You engage in all your hobbies and then walk up the whole building and run your wallet thin too. That is so gorgeous. And then, okay, so here we got some anime action figures, right?
Yeah. So these are figures from the JoJo series. JoJo is a relatively, I'd say it's quite popular now, and kind of has been getting more and more popular every single year since its release. And the initial manga was put out in 82 or something like that.
Yeah, I was about to say it's a pretty old deal, but yeah, it's only catching on, especially in the States more recently with all the memes and stuff.
Yep. It's got its whole like ethos and meme culture. It's got and the cool thing is that, especially what you're seeing here, is each shelf there with the different colored background is a different sort of season from the show. So the blue that's season 3. The purple and pink in the bottom left, that's season sort of 1 and 2. Season 4 and 5, or really just 5, is bottom right.
Okay.
And then top right is 6, and some of the pieces from 7 and onwards. 7 hasn't been animated yet. They're presently working on it to release it, I believe, either later this year or early next. So it was just really cool to see all of them together, and like everybody's got their particular favorite chapter within the seasons and stuff, and then further within that, their favorite characters that they like.
Cool. And so did you end up buying any of those, or was that kind of just looking?
None of those.
Yeah.
Like, say my favorite is season 4, Diamond is Unbreakable. And there's a particular character in there that I've wanted. And I'm with anime stuff, I'm much more on the lookout for, I want statues where I don't really care that much about posability.
Okay.
Because I'm just gonna basically have it once posed and then put it on a shelf or near my desk or whatever. So I prefer a statue that's in a particular pose but is like solid, and like if it gets moved around, there's nothing going to happen to it. Whereas some of these figures, hey, they have more articulation. One tumble off a shelf and that thing's bent for the rest of its life.
Yeah, that is true. Damn.
So yeah, I'm much more in I say, for example, the one figure that I did buy, I bought a statue from Berserk.
Was that in one of these?
No, that was
okay.
one thing I cut from the video.
That's all right.
Now
let's
talk about the cafe, or really the Hunter's Bar, as it's properly called.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
So I went to the Hunter's Bar the first time I came to Japan in 2019. That was when World had come out, but Iceborne had not been released yet. So that was very much in the midst of World hype. People were excited and people were having fun. But like Iceborne hadn't come out yet, so people were just playing World. This time I went in the midst of Wilds is out and it's growing in popularity and stuff.
Cool. So we got some swords, we got the bows. I mean, for scale, this stuff is huge, right? And even the set of armor,
to
which
see
I
it
think
in proper like 2 universe scale. Yeah, so those are, it's interesting. The 2 on the right and the left are the statues that are included with the collector's edition of each game.
Okay.
So base Monster Hunter World had the guy on the left, Narigante, as the collector's edition statue. Velkhana on the right was the collector's edition for when they released Iceborne.
That's dope.
Yeah, and the thing in the center is Alatreon, which that is a dedicated figure that you can go after and buy.
Wow.
We will encounter Alatreon at some point.
Oh, okay.
In playing Iceborne.
Cool. I'm here for it.
We'll talk about him when we get to him.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's super cool because we have encountered Nergigante, and we've only just this Friday did we actually finally defeat Velkhana for the first time. So that was really cool. That's an awesome display. I like what they did here. Okay, next we got 3 more.
Yeah, so
here.
Monkey, know Central Rajang. And then off to the left is Zinogre, who we will meet in Iceborne at some point.
Okay.
Zinogre's one of my personal favorite monsters. And then off to the right is one of the ones that it's interesting. It is dependent on which version of the game you play, whether the Japanese or the US version, where he is either called Valstrux or Valfalk. Valstrux, I prefer using Valstrux as the name to him. I've never fought him. I've only ever seen videos of him. I believe he's in Rise and then say like Monster Hunter 4 and Generations Ultimate. A lot of people like consider Valstrux one of the best monsters ever made.
Okay.
Because the way he works is super cool. I can't remember if he's considered an Elder Dragon or not. But he is a like tough monster to fight, but has some of the coolest moves and mechanics of any monster in Monster Hunter.
Oh, that's cool. I'm excited to see that. That's very interesting. Okay, now we have a set of armor and some weapons here.
Yes. So we get to see from sort of left to right here. We get the Rathalos Greatsword, which is interesting because I don't think it looks like that in World. I believe it looks like that in other games. And I believe that's sort of like the high rank Rathalos armor versus the master rank armor, which looks different.
Yeah.
And then those are the Zinogre dual blades. And finally, the Velkhana bow.
Oh, wow. That is sick.
Yeah.
The Velkhana stuff really does look gorgeous. We saw the armor on Friday as well. Yeah, the weapons, man. And just seeing the scale of that IRL, those are huge.
How big they are, yeah.
Now tell us about this drink here and who it's based on.
So, it is themed after Mr. Zinogre here. So what it is that it's just basically a blue tinged lychee soda, and then one of the ice cubes is one of the light up ice cubes, because Zinogre has this whole thing where he glows with electric power when he's powered up and stuff.
That's such a cool way to simulate that, yeah.
And the entire menu of the restaurant is themed to the different monsters. So like you have different drinks, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic, themed to various monsters and such.
Well, that's cool that they have options, yeah. Man, that is cool. see what else we got here. Okay, this was the steak plate you got, right?
Yeah. Not like it. This one's where it's not terribly special. It's kind of just steak, potatoes, and onions, sort of themed visually to look like meals that you would get served by the Meowscular chef.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty good. Like, about on par with what I would expect. But again, you're not going to this restaurant because it is amazing, like Michelin star food. You're going to this restaurant because it's a Monster Hunter restaurant.
Exactly. You want to immerse yourself in the culture of the location. And then you have, what is this, a slice of pie or something?
It's a slice of like chocolate and vanilla cake themed after a monster from Monster Hunter Wilds called Jindahad. I believe he's like the final boss of Wilds or something. Again,
we haven't played Wilds, man.
I've been trying to keep myself as very much in the dark on Wilds as possible because I want to enjoy it. But I think Jindahad's one of the big monsters at the end of the game.
Okay. Well, and all you know is that he's a cake. He's a piece of cake.
And then you get your Palico iced coffee.
Oh, that looks delicious. I do love some iced coffee. That's so cute with the little paw print on it. Dope. Okay, and then we're back on the streets.
Taking the bus over.
Now tell me about this, because now I'm curious. You say it's your favorite anime, so I have to know more.
Yeah. So, Galaxy 3.9 is one of the legacy science fiction anime. It kind of set the standard of what is more or less known as the space opera genre of these grand space adventures that scale across in this case the entire Andromeda galaxy, of going to all these planets, encountering different characters and stories along the way. And it follows the storyline of the young boy in the red cloak, Tetsuro, who is taking on this adventure with Meitala, the lady with the golden hair and the black hat. So 3.9 is a very I really enjoy it both from a storytelling standpoint of all the different stories that are told throughout, because it's there is sort of a progression of the story as the entire storyline goes through, but you can watch almost any individual episode and experience a singular story.
Oh, that's cool. No, I'm very interested. I have to see more.
And again, I just love the character designs.
Yeah, they're definitely really cool. I definitely need to know where I can watch this, because I gotta check it out. Because I definitely I like Cowboy Bebop. I like the science fiction side of anime, and I have other types that I like as well. But I feel like this is what I gravitate to a little easier. And who do we have here on the right? Who's that?
So it's kind of difficult to explain. That's alternate timeline Tetsuro.
Oh, okay.
There's a part in the later half of the story where there's basically he meets himself from another timeline.
I love it already. That's enough. Anyway, moving on.
And I believe that's a whole ends up being a whole separate story, is following that timeline Tetsuro, and then that became its own anime. Say the guy with the eye patch here, he's from a different story. He's Captain Harlock.
Okay.
And Captain Harlock has his own show.
Damn. Okay, so it's really not just falling into 3.9. You're falling into an entire universe of
and the exhibit was very much a celebration of not just there was definitely a slant towards 3.9, but it was celebrating the artist who I think passed away 2 years ago or something like that. So it was
Oh.
kind of a dedication to him.
Well, that's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a flying train here. What's happening?
That's the Galaxy Express 3.9. It
That
is a
is so
magic
cool.
space train, which they have a full-size sort of like model that you can come and see at the exhibit.
Oh, wow. That is really cool. Yeah, you have some of the art there on the walls.
Pieces. And
the
you can see
Tokyo.
Tokyo Tower from the window, because where this was centered in Roppongi Hills,
Mhm.
this is like trying to describe it, like calling it a shopping center is downplaying it a lot.
Yeah, because we know what that's like in America. We're like, what? What do you
Yeah.
mean?
Because like the base couple floors are a shopping center,
Okay.
and then there's like multiple floors of, I believe, mostly office space, and then there's the event space on, what is it, the 30th floor, and then there's an art gallery at the 38th floor or something like this. And this is
Wow.
in like Roppongi is rich neighborhood. Like these are most of the shops in the basis are like Cartier, Balenciaga, all these upper tier brands.
That's so cool.
So it was very like, at times I felt a little out of place of like, I'm just here to see 3.9, and I walk past all these business people and it's like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
What is this guy doing here? That is a killer view too, to be able to see that
just
type
be
of
able
view
to see
from
the
there.
city.
I love it. Okay, and yeah, there's another glimpse at some
Mm-hmm.
9 art. Definitely has a really striking and very nostalgic style.
Yeah. And then this is sort of the table of all the different universes that interlock with each other. So right in the green patch, that's all the Harlock stuff.
Okay.
The purple is the 3.9 and some of the other universe stuff. And then the pale blue is some of the independent other stories. So they're technically within their own worlds, but they do interact with each other.
Huh. So is there a confusing timeline order in which you have to watch things? Is there like a watch list?
You can just watch it in whatever order you like, to be honest, because you'll end up watching it and you go, oh, that's an interesting character, and then you'll watch another one. It's like, oh, that's their story. Because especially with 3.9, because I'd say 3.9 is probably one of the best ways to experience stuff, is because it's so singular episodic, where you're just like, oh, what are they doing today? They're going to this planet and they're having this little adventure for half an hour and it's done.
Oh, that's cool.
Like 3.9 is very much, well, it's kind of a weird statement of, it's targeted towards younger audiences, because I believe it was designed for younger people, but deals with subject matter that is like, if you actually start to pick this apart, it's like, wow, this is complex.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then say like there's just an episode in original 3.9 where, or actually it's a 2-part episode where Captain Harlock shows up, and it's like, who is that guy? It's like, well, go watch his entire series to understand who he is.
Oh wow. Well, that's really cool, because then when you find the character you dig, you can watch their series, huh?
Yeah.
Really cool. What else we got here? There it is. There's the book.
So this is one where the proper exhibit, you can't take pictures of it, because it's like a private art gallery, basically. So I bought the collector's edition book so I could remember what pieces of artwork were on display, because there was a lot.
Yeah, imagine so, with a book that big, yeah. And then you got this card here. What's that?
Yep, it's mostly just a postcard of with a like piece of artwork of Captain Arlock.
Well, that's cool.
Mhm.
You got
And
some
then
more
the
stuff.
proper dedicated sticker for my main notebook.
That's cool. Oh, and then this is some more food.
Having lunch at the tower, and I gotta say, some of the best Italian food you will ever have that is not from Italy. Like Italy's obviously the number one because that's like where it's from.
That is where it
Of
is,
course,
yeah.
Italian people are going to make the best Italian food. The second best is probably Japanese.
Wow.
Like they have a way, like Japanese, any Japanese chef is good at their craft, and if they like another culture's food, they are going to learn how to make it to a T and then put their own additional spin and ideas on top of it.
That's so cool. I have to say, even with the Monster Hunter Cafe, the presentation of the food is really, really beautiful. Really strong. That is so cool, just the way everything's laid out. And you went for a walk, which, like, to me, this is like, that might even be one of the coolest things, is just walking around on foot.
I believe it was that day where I put my phone in my bag, I took my headphones off, and I just walked in a straight line for about an hour and a half just to watch the world go by.
That's so cool. Yeah, and just experience the sights and sounds.
Yep.
And then you said you came here to take some pictures.
Yes. If you know the story of this dog, this is Hachiko. Hachiko is one of the best known stories about loyal dogs, where the story goes that Hachiko would go to the train station to wait for his owner, who I believe is a teacher at Tokyo University, every single day, and man would get off the train and the dog would walk home with him. And that was the consistent pattern forever. Until one day the man died at the university. So the dog came to the train station waiting for him to come, but then never left and just waited. Because that was his job, was to, I know master will come, so I will sit and I will wait.
Oh no.
Yeah, so that's why they have a dedication to the most loyal dog of all time.
I have heard that story, and that's heartbreaking. That's fucking... we don't deserve dogs, man.
Yeah.
Especially one like him.
It's interesting looking at this picture because I've seen it a bit on social media of people talking about statues that are made out of metal. When metal is interacted with by human hands, if it is sort of a darker color metal, it will eventually become closer to brass or bronze the more people touch it. So you see the two paws are like sort of shined up because of how much people come and interact with the statue.
That's beautiful. Because usually with the statues of women, it's always the breasts that are very, very gold, and it's just like, come on, guys, really? Come on, everybody. The statue, but that's so touching. That's where everybody's petting
every time I go to Tokyo, I get a picture of Hachiko.
Oh. Oh, and this, you said this was an Italian, or no, Australian place.
Australian chain called Bill's.
Yeah.
I was just like, I've got time to kill before I go to the art gallery. So I was like, I could do with a bit more food. While this plate was like $28 or something, like it was way higher than what I usually pay for breakfast like that. This is some of the best breakfast I've had in my fucking life.
Oh my god,
it was so good. And like the guy who was, I believe he was like either the floor manager or whatever, he was like, hey, they just brought out cookies, do you want one? I was like, well, I'm in for a penny, in for a pound. Give me a cookie.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And it's like, God damn it, it's good.
That looks
I'm
so
already
delicious.
spending way
So
too
cool.
much money, but I was like, it's just too good.
You gotta live it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this is when you went to a museum, yeah?
Yes, the Ota Memorial Art Museum in Tokyo. It's not very big. It's about like a room and then a second story. That's about it. And then they have a rotating exhibit. I think it's about 4 times a year there's a different exhibit. So when I went there, it was a dedication to Hokusai, who's one of the most famous Japanese painters of all time. Everybody knows the Great Wave.
Yes,
If
I was
you-
about
if you
to say
show
I've
them
seen
a painting
that.
of the Great Wave, it's like, oh yeah, that thing.
100%.
Like
right
that
there.
thing.
There it is. Like everyone's seen it. It's in every Japanese restaurant, whether it's in
Yep.
America or wherever. Somebody has a picture of it.
So this exhibit was dedicated towards all of Hokusai's paintings, or at least 36 of them, that include Mount Fuji.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
even in the Great Wave of Kanagawa, you can see right there is Mount Fuji. So the entire collection is just all these different paintings of Mount Fuji that he did across something like 60 years or something like that.
Wow, a lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even some of these pictures I know I've seen before, yeah.
Yep.
Because, I mean, he's very famous.
Really classic paintings. And you get to play the fun game both from the book and from going to the gallery. Is like, all right, open a page, find Mount Fuji in the painting.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's usually pretty noticeable because it is usually at a focal point
Mhm.
in the backdrop. But there are some interesting ones of how it is positioned and posed.
Interesting. Really cool. Pepsi says, looks at the Great Wave painting on my wall. Yup. No way.
I believe it has like some sort of record for the most reproduced painting in the world, where it's like it has been, because the thing is with the Great Wave, there's no proper original of it. There's a couple ones that are the oldest versions of it, but there's no like Mona Lisa original.
Oh, wow.
There's just all the facsimiles that we have of it.
That's beautiful. And that's a really cool book. That's dope that you purchased the books so that you could still remember the things that you saw, because, you know, that is a thing, whether it's a private gallery or if it's just kind of a decorum thing of like, you know, you shouldn't take your camera in there and photograph these things.
So they like I just wanted it as like I can hand it to other people. It's like, oh, what artwork do you see? Well, let me show you what I saw.
Yeah. Perfect coffee table book, you know?
Yep.
Dude, and just the skyline is just so incredible. Coming from a place where I have nothing of value to look at, it's just fucking, you know, desert or dirt or just cotton. It gets old after a while. To other people, it's majestic, but yeah, seeing like all those beautiful buildings is really cool. All right. Go back to this camera here, and I know we have some other stuff we want to look at too, right? I'm gonna give you a like.
There you go. Thank you.
Because I definitely like that video. All right. This next one, we talk about Monster Hunter Cafe stuff.
Yes. So at the cafe, when you go, when you visit the cafe, and depending on how much you order and what you order, you get X amount of stamps and a little card. You can then take those stamps over to the stamp counter and trade them in for particular rewards. So because I was not intending on Like I might go back at some point, I'm not sure. But like if this is to be the only time I go back and I don't get another chance, I wanted to use up all the stamps that I had. So I ended up using them to collect some of the cards.
Very cool. All right, let's play this video and see.
Okay, let's go through the cards I collected at the Monster Hunter bar using my stamps. So we have Teostra, Lunastra, Narigante, Barioth, the Rise Barioth.
Ooh.
That is Stygian Zenogre, Fulgur Anjanath,
Okay.
and the spider boss for Monster Hunter Rise, whose name escapes me at this point. So there we go. There are the cards.
What? That's cool.
Yeah.
I actually like that I recognize some of them.
Yeah, that
I
you've
was like,
seen,
hey, I know
you've
this
seen
ones.
ones that you've already fought before.
That is so cool.
So yeah, I don't think there's anywhere online that has the listing for what the full card set is. But I'm pretty sure it's pretty close to like the whole roster from each game.
Oh boy.
And say like you'll see ones in that list that have say the logos for both Monster Hunter World and Iceborne. Say like Lunastra and Teostra and Narigante all have the double, whereas like Barioth is, oh, that's the Rise Barioth. And say ones that are only in Iceborne, say like Stygian Zenogre or Fulgur Anjanath, are just Iceborne.
Okay. Very cool. I'd say you got some pretty good ones.
I got some pretty good pulls. I was quite happy about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Right. Let me see what else. Yeah, so you're not necessarily pulled to like try collect them all, or did they get you?
Not exceptionally. Like there are some in particular that I want to get, but the amount of Monster Hunter merch I own at this point, I don't terribly need to go hunting.
Probably other things that you could very easily collect instead.
Exactly. Say like the pictures that I showed of the cafe of all those different figures, there are some of those that I'd want to hunt after.
Sure. Okay, so we got a menu here. Are there some things we want to take a look at just for fun?
Sure. Just to show off kind of like what there is available.
Okay, so should we look at like food in Tokyo?
Yeah, let's do that.
Idea.
I have actually never been to the Osaka one. I should see how different it is. I imagine they're rather similar, but I don't know.
Okay. Wow, once again the presentation is half the meal, I imagine. Okay. Gigante's jet black katsu curry. Oh wow.
Yeah, specialized curry.
Investigators bonfire cooking meats and vegetables.
So some of those that have like the that are in the metal pan like that don't have a monster theme to them, those are the Wilds meals, because they kind of change the way the meal system for the game works with Wilds, where you're doing a lot more cooking on your own in Wilds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. Interesting. Let's see this page. Scorching and exhilarating taco rice with Rathalos and Rathian.
Yep.
Oh my god. That is so funny. Okay, I don't recognize all these monsters, but
So say for example the two above Rathian and Rathalos are they're wilds only monsters. They're new monsters that were added to the game.
right there, okay.
And say like the top right, that's the steak. That's the steak I got. Which I gotta say, like promotional image versus actual product, pretty on point.
Looks up pretty good, yeah. And it's definitely got its presentation, yeah. Flying wyvern portion steak. And even the kids' meal looks super cute. Like, look
yeah, with the little palico.
Yeah, that's so cool. The tale of the legendary dragon.
Yeah.
Right there.
One day we will talk about him.
Okay. No, even that looks delicious. Okay. See what's on our next page here. Fluffy bunny dango.
So the meals in Rise are themed after these dango sweets. So this was sort of their recreation of you eating the dango sweets.
Oh, that's cool. Hunter King, 3 types: flying dragon, beast dragon, sea dragon, meat plate. Oh boy.
So you can when I sat down to have my meal, I looked across and there was a group of 4 guys who had come as a group together, and I believe they might have ordered that one of the big platter meals, and it was like, if I had more people, I'd do it, but I am just one person. I cannot solo this one.
No, that is a pretty crazy meal. Yeah, that's
close to what we see our player character eat.
Yeah,
in a
it really
pre-hunt.
is. Let's see. Pepsi wanted to know, top left, the multicolored mochi balls on a stick. That's the fluffy bunny dango. So it says 3 colored dumplings, cherry blossom petals. What does this say? I can't read that. Nantan leaves, oblongs, and fried pasta. Yeah, that's kind of small, kind of hard to read, but it does look delicious. I'd try it. But yeah, all a reference to Rise. But yeah, you can check out this. Maybe I'll pop the link for these menus here in the description so you guys can take a look. But it looks like that is all of the food menu, but man, that reservation only looks really cool. See what's limited time. Oh, Glavinus!
Nope.
A Glavinus rice bowl right here. Oh my gosh. Monster Hunter Wilds. Meal invitation set menu. Oh boy.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's
Devil's Joe.
There's the Nan that created a absolute apocalypse that was Japan for a little bit.
Oh no.
Nan is very, very much featured and focused in Wilds.
Oh,
and there's
really?
a cutscene where they're eating cheese naan, and people went, I gotta have some of that. And they just like, I think they raided every convenience store known to man, to the point that they ran out of cheese naan in most of the country.
Oh, goodness. Who knew that Monster Hunter was gonna cause a food epidemic?
Potent. Yeah.
That is so funny. No, it looks really good. And I've seen video games have that power over people. Yeah, it's definitely happened. Okay, and in the drink menu, you got your mega potion.
Yep.
Of Valkana milk. Okay. Interesting. And then this was the drink you had in the top right, yeah?
Yes, the Zinogre.
An ogre, okay. And that is gorgeous. Let's see, page 2 here. Okay. Oh, there's Valstrax, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Got a little black
yes.
sesame milk. Okay, I don't know all these monsters, but this is still really cool.
Mm-hmm. So, say for example, Lagiacrus is from Monster Hunter 3. Elatron is from, I believe, Monster Hunter 4, but we will eventually encounter him in World. Kongolala is from Monster Hunter 2 and then was brought back for Wilds.
Oh, okay.
Valstrax is Monster Hunter 3, Gen Ultimate, and Rise. Arkveld is like one of the mainstay. I don't think he's technically the flagship, but he's darn near close to the flagship for Wilds.
Okay.
And then the Cherry Tea, that is your handler for Wilds. She is your companion person who tells you what to do.
Cool.
And then the Palico I actually had.
The Palico. Delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Got Monster Hunter Now.
Mm-hmm, which is their mobile game.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Monster Hunter Puzzles, Feline Isles. So you got a drink there too.
Yeah.
Okay, alcohol drink menu. Fine. Jet Black Narga Kuga.
Yep, there's Narke.
That's so funny. Oh man. Let's see what we have here. Shimmering Thunder Orange Cocktail. I don't know all these. Okay.
Yeah, so Ray Dow, the Shimmering Thunder, he's the, I believe, the proper flagship for Wilds. And then
He looks crazy.
Uth is, I believe, Wilds as well. And then Gormagala is the other, like, super favorite outside of Valstrax. Is every time Gormagala shows up in a game, people get really excited.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Got your standard hunter beers.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm really kind of annoyed that they don't sell the metal cups in the shop for you to buy, because I'd pay like $20 for one of the metal like
cool would
barrel
that
looking
be?
cups.
So you could take it home and have one.
Yeah.
Role play your Monster Hunter. Have your beer while you play Monster Hunter in your big old mug.
Yeah. And I didn't order it, but when they say extra large for those glass beer mugs, they are not joking. Like, these are Oktoberfest size, you can barely lift it with one hand size mugs.
Oh yeah, those mugs do look huge. Holy crap. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's really awesome. I will definitely plug a link of that in the description, and if you guys want to take a closer look at that, we'll update that shortly. Let's go ahead. Back to our view here. Envy is bubbling over. Yeah, that's definitely a good one. But I'll go ahead and drop a link in the chat there in case you want to take a look at that while we're at it. Yeah, that looks really cool. Anything else you want to talk about? Do we have anything else?
I believe that was sort of the core things I had in mind. Yeah. Yeah, that more or less covers all the main ones.
And stuff. Okay, well, when it comes to gaming news, we have I have this link in the description of this is an IGN article called "Stop Removing the Modern Day. Assassin's Creed Fans React," as Black Flag Remake reportedly cuts everything outside of the Animus. And I don't know, maybe IGN is mad about something different. I was more mad that they were announcing that they were going more with the newer RPG Assassin's Creed mechanics instead of preserving the traditional Assassin's Creed, which is kind of what 4 was. It had that very reactive fighting style of like countering things and parrying at precise times and having cool takedowns and animations and, you know, swinging from the ship into a air assassination and landing on somebody on the other ship. Like, it was really cool.
No, I much prefer the older style of the Assassin's Creed combats. Also, one of my other big things that is one of the reasons that I haven't played the last couple ones is I don't like being level capped by those games, of being, oh, my sword is not strong enough, so I cannot do this encounter right now because I'm underpowered. That never happened in Brotherhood, Revelations, Black Flag, any of those. You just did. Sometimes you get into situations where it's like, oh, I don't have the utility items on me enough. I don't have my blowgun. I don't have enough bullets with me to do anything to counter stuff. Or, especially with Black Flag, oh, my boat isn't leveled up enough for this encounter. I can't take on galleons right now. So I need to go do more stuff. But I don't need that for all aspects of the game. It made sense with the boat, where it was like, oh, you engage with more boat combat, you get better at doing stuff. I just don't like being... But at the same time, you could do stuff underleveled with the boat if you knew what you were doing. There was no hard lockout of like, no, you are underleveled. Go away. Go somewhere else.
The games had really good pacing in that respect.
Yeah.
Of you leveled up in a really standard way, and it made sense, and you never felt like you were locked out of stuff, other than the fact, like, you know, with typical games, it's like, okay, I'm not ready to fight the big galleon, you know?
Yep.
As you said.
Yep. I don't terribly care if the Animus stuff is removed or not.
Yeah.
I think it was interesting. There were definitely some interesting parts to it. And like at the end of the day, I was much more interested in the core Assassin's Creed story stuff. What I'm more like questioning of, and what I kind of did preemptively, is I bought Black Flag Original on PC in case this was coming.
Oh no.
So that if they try and delist this shit,
which
and say that the new version is the definitive one, it's like, you should go play that. It's like, no, I want my original, please. I don't care if it doesn't look as shiny and new as this one does. I don't care. I just want to play Black Flag. So I don't... Black Flag is probably my favorite Assassin's Creed game. It is the only one that I've ever gotten the like collector's edition and the guide for.
Yeah.
Like, it still stands as one of my favorite of those games of all, and I think it is a really cool game. And it is also the best Assassin's Creed game where the Assassin's Creed part of it is a minor footnote in what is just an overall good pirate game.
That's very true. I do always say it's a good pirate game, but it is very slim on the Assassin's Creed stuff. And therefore, I often sometimes argue that it's not, it doesn't feel like Assassin's Creed, even though, you know, it does have the name on the game, and it does forward some of the story and things like that. And I mean, he does join the Creed, but he really kind of just fucks off and does his own thing, you know?
Yeah, because the thing is, Kenway doesn't really care. Like,
Doesn't
he's
care.
not invested in the overall mission of the assassins and all that stuff. He's a pirate.
Mm-hmm.
He cares
He's worried about
for
himself. He's about his own goals, which is very on brand. But some of the other things that they've remarked here is that, so even though it's removing some of the modern day content, they are adding extra day content, or extra content from Kenway's pirate era to make up for the lost gameplay hours, including additional story for his fellow pirate, Mary Reed, that never made it into the base game. So.
Yeah, cut Mary Reed content that they wanted to add. And I have to imagine that this new version will also include because this game did get DLC.
Yeah.
What was Freedom Cry, I believe it was called.
Freedom Cry was incredible.
You play as his bosun.
Yeah.
So that's probably going to be included as well. Oh boy, like I can just, there's that like monkey's paw thing in the back of my mind. It's like, what if they sell us that?
Oh, like as a separate, be like another $20.
Freedom Cry again.
Goodness sake, they probably could.
Pre-order now for
That's
Freedom
very
Cry
Ubisoft, yeah. Adewale was killer, man, because he was his first mate, and so
he's super cool.
And the DLC really digs into his story, and it does not shy away from the horrors of slavery.
Yeah.
You're literally playing as an escaped slave, and you sort of seek vengeance on the slavers, which is very cathartic. And his moveset, by the way, his animations and moveset
than Kenway's. Yeah,
they did a really good job. He is very brutal and very, very strong, and I just remember loving his animations even more. I was like, damn, Adewale is might even be better than Kenway. Like he's got some moves, man. But yeah, they just sort of mentioned that people were disappointed about the modern day stuff. But I think people forget that, I mean, most of that, you were like playing as an IT guy with like your little iPad going around doing hacking puzzles, like, rose-colored glasses off. I mean, it was, it wasn't very fun. I mean, maybe it was on that first playthrough, but
had some cool story beats.
Yeah, the story beats are what matter the most, and I'm more upset that is essentially being torn out because they know people aren't going to love running around with the iPad.
Yeah.
It's not going to sell well in 2025 or 2026.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what they do, but with all things, especially modern game things, as we'll kind of talk about in other respects throughout the podcast, it's always the coin flip of, is it going to actually run?
Yeah.
If I buy this game, does it work?
Is it optimized? Does it work? Will it run on most modern PCs and consoles and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
That's definitely a concern. I think the other thing that's interesting is that both Mirage had no modern day segments, which, even as fun as Mirage was, it felt empty that it wasn't forwarding any sort of present day story. And Shadows has like a few scenes, but like it never takes you out of the Animus. It's just like weird things that you watch and conversations that you watch happen. And it doesn't really, it might as well not have had that. It would have mattered very little to me, sadly. And so it's a weird angle that they've kind of gone this way where they're like, oh, let's just sell them the in Animus experience from now on and forget about the science fiction part of the story, which is actually really fascinating. And that's what was so engaging, especially about the first Assassin's Creed, was they were putting you in the Animus and immersing you in these beautiful worlds and history, and then they were pulling you out just when you got excited, and then engaging you more in this present day mystery of like, oh, what is Abstergo? Who is Desmond Miles? What's happening here? Can I escape from this place? You know, what's going on? That's cool.
Mhm.
I don't know. Any more thoughts on the Assassin's Creed stuff?
I am hopeful that it is good, as it is my favorite of those games, but I really need to see proper like gameplay and information from Ubisoft directly of what their intentions and ideas are.
Very true. Okay, so I have 2 articles here that I've shared in the description as well, and this is from Randy Pitchford, hitting back at Borderlands 4. There's one article about Borderlands 4 performance criticism in which he tells someone on Twitter to code their own engine.
Code their own game.
And then we have another article that is about Randy Pitchford telling Borderlands 4 players to, quote, play a different game if they're not happy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in the first one here, there is a fan who is, talking about the shaky performance at launch, optimization stuff, and he tells one of the fans to code his own engine in a sarcastic reply.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get the... Here it is. It's... Let's see. It was... Randy has been handing out advice on how to improve the experience, from using DLSS to turn off volumetric fog, and one fan urged... But when one fan urged him to make your game look good without relying on AI upscaling, he quickly clapped back. Code your own engine and show us how it's done, please. We will be your customer when you pull it off, Pitchford replied before adding, the people doing it now are clearly dumb and don't know what they're doing, and all the support and recommendations and code and architecture from the world's greatest hardware companies and tech companies working with the world's greatest real-time graphics engine coders don't know what you seem to know. Now, he may be right, but that's kind of a shitty way to say it, right?
And Borderlands 4 is built in, Unreal 5?
I would assume so.
I think so. Because, again, that's been just what has
the standard of broken games lately.
Unreal 5 just doesn't work.
It's jank.
Yeah, it's... And, so I have several thoughts. So, number one, there are developers that can do this. There are developers that have figured out how to make this stuff work and to make things behave correctly and whatnot. Two, this is yet another occasion of people in higher up positions at gaming companies, when things are going awry and things are not working correctly, games may be unoptimized, unfinished, what have you, that person should not be allowed to touch social media.
Yeah.
The best thing that we can all learn is that when you're going through stuff and things are falling apart, do not engage with what people are saying, or at least hand the phone to the PR manager and say, deal with this.
Yeah.
Because nothing has ever gone well. But this happened with, say, 2042, where some of the people at DICE made comments about when people were unhappy with the initial launch of 2042, and it's that did not help the game's reputation. It just dug it even deeper of a hole. Either go silent or hand it to the PR person that works for your company and do it, because it is never good to tweet and comment while you are going through stuff. My third point is that I can't imagine that anybody is surprised by this, and especially surprised of these comments from Mr. Pitchford.
Yep.
Who I'd like to remind everybody is Randy carries naughty things on a thumb drive, Pitchford.
Oh no.
Randy shoved the actor for Claptrap in a hotel, Pitchford.
Oh no.
Randy shared not safe for content of Battleborn to help promote it, Pitchford. And Randy, you're not a real fan if you don't spend $80, Pitchford.
Oh yeah, and criticism of the rising cost of games, and you know, if
this
you're a
guy
real Borderlands
is not
fan,
a good person. Like, he's never been a good person.
Oh, no.
He has been the most detrimental thing about enjoying Borderlands.
Ugh.
Like, he's just not a good guy.
He was also tweeting through the movie as well when the movie came out, and it was, you know, kind of, from what I heard, it was not very good. Didn't get a lot of great reaction from the fans. His tweet says, "So what you're saying is you like what my friends and I do with our Borderlands video games even more than you like what some of the biggest and best cast and crew of filmmakers on the planet have done. I'm super flattered. We're working extra hard for FOUR on what's next."
Yeah.
So he teased Borderlands 4, I guess.
To talk about the fourth game.
He also said, wait, I got more. I sincerely do not think the movie, quote, stinks. I enjoyed it and am super glad that it exists. I don't know if I agree with nothing close to the games, depending on what you mean by that. If you're saying that my friends and I have done a better job with the games that this unbelievable cast crew of film did with the movie, I'm very flattered and happy to live in that world. I'm close to it. It seems about half the people who actually see the movie seem to like it. That old argument. And half the people who didn't, half the people who see it don't like it. That's cool. All opinions are valid. The Beatles had more than number one hits than any other band in history, and their hit rate was less than 25%. That's how it is with entertainment. Gotta keep swimming. Yeah. And it just keeps getting worse. Like, it eventually...
so
I can't read all these tweets. They're all paragraphs, and he just gets madder and madder. Yeah.
Well, and the idea that at this day and age we're even giving him the time of day to speak
is wild.
Is ridiculous. Like, he's a clown. Like, there is no point in listening to what he has to say. If you enjoy Borderlands and want to play it and experience it, I imagine that you enjoy the games, but you probably enjoy them in spite of this looming shadow that is Mr. Pitchford.
It doesn't help, though, that he's saying that players can refund on Steam if they're not happy for it. I'm sure the devs and the PR team are pulling their hair out as he's tweeting this.
Didn't include in this was he made a comment back in 2019. It's like, when we look back in 5 and 10 years now, Steam might be like a fully dead product and not exist anymore. And it's like, all right, interesting, future sayer, Mr. Pitchford.
Yep.
How's that one going?
Didn't go so well.
So I've heard that when you can get it to work, Borderlands 4 is fun, and might be the best version of the Borderlands incarnation thus far. But that shouldn't be what we have to deal with. The game should work. Like, I shouldn't have to, like, say every qualifying statement of like, this game is good after the technical issues, or this game is good but you can only play it 50% of the time or less. It should just be good.
Yeah. And I'm sure Borderlands will hopefully be fine if they can fix all these optimization issues, but some games have been abandoned with those issues, and just left to modders to
Well-
patch things up, or
And Borderlands is an interesting paradigm where it's
Yeah.
not a live service game.
Yeah.
It will probably eventually get DLC, perhaps. But it might take a while, but at the end of the day, it is truly a single to co-op experience. There's no terribly ongoing content. It should be the buy and play an experience and then be like, oh, that was fun, I'm finished experience. But if the initial purchase of that didn't work, what kind of experience is that? It's I will look forward to playing this when it is playable.
yeah. Dark Tide falls in there, Wilds falls in there.
Wilds falls in there. And I gotta say, at least Capcom has been like, we are working to fix this issue.
I know.
Please be polite to our developers and not send them fucking death threats over this stuff. At
Yeah.
least they've been like, we're looking into it. We are committed to a fix. Every fucking Monster Hunter players deserves to give them an apology, because at least they don't snap back at us and go, well, why don't you code your own fucking game?
Yeah. That's not a good response. PR is pulling their hair, going nuts, while you're tanking the company with tweets.
Yeah, well, you're just
of all things,
slowly eroding any goodwill that was left.
For real. It does, as Pepsi noted here, it does remind me of the richest people fighting online on Twitter when the billionaires start quarreling with each other. Pitchford kind of brought up that type of attitude. in his comments. It's like, maybe you shouldn't be talking if you want your brand to continue to sell very well. With Pokemon Legends, I just wanted to touch on this very briefly. This is part of Nintendo's latest direct. Pokemon Legends Z to A's $30 Mega Dimension DLC pushes the price of owning every new Mega Evolution to $100 on Nintendo Switch 2. So once again, this is a game that is not out yet, and Nintendo is announcing the day one DLC for it already. And that is going to be $30 on day one.
So what does this DLC get you? It gets you access to additional, or are they locking out Mega Evolutions unless you have the DLC? Like, how does it work?
Let's see. So right here it says, yeah, okay, so you also have to have a Nintendo Switch Online subscription, which people seem to be mad about that as well. It says with each of, let's see, you get subsequent in-game seasons. Players will need to keep their Switch Online active for multiple months and win ranked battles to unlock the lot. Why lock this behind a paywall and ranked battles? Do they not think at all, wrote one fan. Yeah, $30 DLC is bonkers. If you want to experience the whole of the game on day one, $20 for online, $70 for base game, $30 for DLC. Yeah, it appears, because what they showed in the trailer was like Raichu and a bunch of other like flashy Pokemon. So it says here, $30 DLC includes additional story content that allows fans to encounter 2 new Mega Evolutions, Mega Raichu X and Mega Raichu Y. 3 other Mega Evolutions were also confirmed for Kalos, K-A-L-O-S, Starter, Pokemon Delphox, Chestnut, and Greninja.
Greninja, okay.
Yeah. So with small print revealing these will only be available post-launch as rewards for competing in online ranked battles. That's even worse, in my opinion, which requires an online subscription. Yeah.
Okay, so they're DLC gating, additional story content, and 2 mega evolutions.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I would imagine the remaining core roster of, say, pre-existing mega evolutions are still available in baseline game.
Yeah, possibly so.
Yeah, I don't know what their idea and their plan is for this. This does not sound like a good idea.
Yeah.
Like, outside of people who are really dedicated to Pokemon, I can't see who will want to buy this expansion, I would say. And again, this is all with the coin toss of that this Pokemon game works.
That's
on
the other
launch.
thing. Yeah.
Because let's not forget was it the last one they released, or one of the previous ones they released, where you had the, what was it, sub 10 frame rate windmill?
Yeah.
Like, I can't not picture that of like one of the definitions of poor optimization.
And the fix for that problem is to buy a Switch 2, and now the game actually works.
No, it actually works, yeah.
Because the console just couldn't handle it, or they just didn't develop the game properly to run on the hardware that it was assigned to. Yeah. One of the other things that someone pointed out, other fans pointed to the recent $20 cost of Hollow Knight Silk Song, or $50 Claire Obscure Expedition 33, or $30 Hades 2 to highlight how much the DLC costs. For $100 of this, you could play 3 Game of the Year contenders or 1 Pokemon game. A fan wrote.
We are seeing like these bigger companies like just completely drop the ball on stuff, while these independent companies, say like Team Cherry with Silk Song and stuff like that, and other I guess Claire Obscura Expedition is technically an independent company as well, although that game certainly don't look like no independent company.
It's absolutely insane, the visuals and the quality that they were able to create from that.
So again, we are seeing people who have like dedication and like want to build a good craft completely just our game is this price. It runs. Like, there are, if any bugs exist, we will fix them. It's this price and it's out. Go. And you can tell. You look at Steam charts and other places, and you see those like that overwhelmingly positive or really high rated scores, and it's like, oh yeah, who built this? A team of like 20 people who like sweat and bled for 5 years.
Absolutely. They worked hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo does feel like they're in the supervillain era lately. Yeah.
I just don't know what they're doing. And
very strange.
Like, my other thing is Pokemon doesn't need more money.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, living in Japan, Pokemon does not need more money. Everything can be monetized with Pokemon stuff.
It's very true.
Like, I'm pretty sure they like their dividends on merchandising pay for a failed game like 3 times over whatever its development cost was.
That's the bad part. They didn't learn from their mistake is the bad part.
Yeah.
It's like, because they can absorb the hit.
Yeah, they can just make it back on like a new line of plush and a new set of cards.
It is crazy how Pokemon games have improved. I mean, you know, Pepsi Cola is saying I haven't played since X and Y. I mean, I really haven't dabbled much since like Red and Blue and Yellow and Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Snap. Like those were the things that I spent most of my time and grew up with. And now it's like 3D open world games, but like even those games look kind of shitty for like the era that we're in.
Compared to the other scale.
Yeah.
Of things.
Compared to what's possible in 2020, 2025, all these, past decade of gaming, whatever.
Yep.
The only other thing I want to mention about Nintendo here was Metroid Prime 4 Beyond was also revealed during the Direct. They showed a little more gameplay, and I think the one moment that sort of got the internet, tearing each other apart over it is this part, which I think is really cool. I'm just going to briefly show a screenshot here of the bike on screen, but there's a point where Samus gets on a bike, and like it actually looks kind of badass. There's some combat, and she explores the planet in a couple different locations that she's on. She drives through a desert, and it just looks like you're doing that probably on the way to other locations, and then once you get there, she does like a front flip off the bike, and then it just seamlessly does that beautiful transition from third to first person. It looked really cool to me. I was enthused, but naturally the internet had a very different reaction. Yeah.
What's the take from the crowd that doesn't like the bike? What's their reasoning behind not liking it?
I don't like my games changing, Andrew. They said, that Metroid games and the Metroidvania genre, it's all about locations. It's like this location, and then you hop on the tram or get in your little ship or whatever, and it takes you to the next location. Usually there's like an elevator system or secret passageways that take you from one environment to another. They call this like open world slop, where they're like, oh, you're just putting in a big bland open world to make the game longer, and you're messing with my nostalgia by taking a level-based game and turning it into a big open world adventure. Which, I mean, it's literally like a couple minutes long gameplay trailer. It's not enough to like, I feel like it's not enough information to be that angry, but yes. Reactionaries on TikTok and Twitter and whatever are at it.
Yeah, at the end of all things, if you don't like it, there's no one holding a gun to your head that says you must play it.
Very true. And it's like, hey man, if you don't like it, like Metroid Dread is true to the
Metroid Dread's there.
Yeah, it's just true to the classics. And even the older Metroid Primes, if you don't like that this one is making some changes, I mean, every series has to innovate, man. Zelda has had to do it, We could name every series under the sun that has eventually innovated over the years and been like, okay, it's really cool that we have this like tightly focused story and dedicated dungeons, but like, what if we go full open world and just let people explore and put puzzles all over the place? And we could argue whether Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom was the right direction to go. You kind of lose your dedicated dungeons, and your more, your gadgets and your loot and stuff sort of becomes randomly dispersed throughout the open world. It changes the formula, and it messes with your storytelling. So you have to alter things. You have to adjust on the fly to that. I don't know.
And again, you have to, even if stuff doesn't work out, it is good that experimentation happens, because what ends up happening is you go, oh, people like this, people didn't like that. Okay, so the next time, let's take what they did like and maybe take what they didn't like and rearrange it and make it work. Like, you can't know if things are going to work unless you try and experiment with stuff.
And also, one of the other things is that you can tilt the Joy-Con vertically and use it as a mouse. So this will be one of the big games in which, you can sort of play.
You can use the mouse functionality.
Aim as a mouse.
Too.
It's really cool. I think this game has a lot going for it, and it's one of the selling points of the Switch 2 for me is definitely like I'm gonna be the guy that picks up this game day one, and I am so excited to play it. And I don't know that there's enough time for me to replay through some of the Metroid Prime games, but I'd certainly like to. But it looks great, and I personally don't understand the complaints. I think it looks gorgeous, and I realize that, you know, games have to innovate. It's kind of a fact of life.
And it's fair to park your judgment of like what the experience is going to be like until you actually play the game.
Yeah.
The game's not out yet.
Exactly. I mean, getting mad over like a 2-minute long trailer and making like all these judgments when it's like, we know very little. This is only like maybe the second video that we've seen of like actual gameplay coming from that game. So, I mean, it's a very small slice. It's not a lot to really get wild about. But yeah, as Pepsi says, experimentation mistakes lead to all major human progress. Yeah, you know.
Yep.
And it does feel a little bit like grumpy old man doesn't like things changing. We get that way with our beloved series, and you know, we enjoy the way things used to be. But if you know Mario sticks to the 2D style forever, then you know you never get your Mario Galaxy. Your Mario
64 doesn't
Mario
exist.
64, yeah. You never get any of that. All your beloved moments. Sure. I believe next we want to talk a little bit about Space Marine 2.
Yes. The thing that is consumed, I want to get I don't know if it shows me on my thing here how much time I've put in the last. Is there a way to check
on Steam
how much you've played recently?
Oh, recently.
Yeah, because that's what I want to try and figure out here. If I go here,
yeah, like it'll say 55.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you got?
So say, yeah, I have. And this is split across a couple different games here. Recent activity of 56 hours. And I can tell you across the last 2 weeks, I'm going to say 50 of that is Space Marine 2. Because I'm pretty sure like the couple other ones that have counted there have just been sort of like checking in on logins and stuff like that, or like say logging into Dune to make sure my base isn't being torn apart by the sand.
Yeah.
Like, is the power still on? All right, how long's it got? 10 days? All right.
Hey, it taxes and power things on. Keep the roof on.
But yeah, no, the rest of that time has been spent playing Space Marine 2. Not only for the new system of the challenge missions, which have been like, I think we talked about this when it was revealed with the initial trailer and then the roadmap and stuff. This is the feature that lets you keep playing the game forever. Because like even though there are a finite number of missions that you can play, the new system of having modifiers for each missions makes things super interesting. So we've experienced what it's like to be hunted by the unkillable lictor.
Yes.
In that operation. And the thing is that modifier can appear on chaos missions.
Yikes.
That modifier can happen on missions where Tyranids are not involved, and it's just like a random lictor is there just to mess with you. again, the modifier for less Majoris, more Minoris enemies, on say when that's a weekly challenge, on the normal difficulty, not so bad. You're cleaving through hordes of them pretty easily. Like it's not that big a challenge. On hard mode, where it's set to absolute, and Majoris are how you kick down that respawn timer to make it shorter, more Minoris become an annoying side of things, because it's just like this horde constantly pursues you, and while they don't deal the damage that a Majoris opponent does, when there's 20 of them, they are an annoying hive that you cannot get rid of. Like, you can do your best to cut through them and get rid of them. It's a painful experience. Say one of the ones that I did prior was the weekly challenge for the Trigon Operation Exfiltration.
Whoa.
Modifiers of more Majoris or more Minoris. I believe Imperial Guard soldier spawned. And then you have the reduced health modifier, which on release was 75%. They have now kicked it down to 66 because it was too rough.
Oh.
Because on hard mode, armor pops and you are dead.
Yeah.
Like, I had scenarios where I had 1 pip of armor left. The sniper Tyranid Knight hits you and you are dead. Like, full,
just cuts
like,
through.
on the ground, ready for revival.
Oh,
dead.
No.
You don't get a chance to be like, oh, I'm injured, I can use a health kit. It's like, nope. You just get 1 shot.
You're done.
It is crazy, the new modifiers that we've experienced. And say, for example, having to do what say another week challenge was decapitation, classic Hive Tyrant mission. We know what this one is. What happens if you add more Majoris type to that? Well, it becomes a thing of the horde is no longer a horde of small Gaunts. It is a horde of knights charging at you.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Again, normal difficulty, not too
Not so
bad.
bad.
Like,
We can handle.
get your hits in, get your finishers in. On absolute, I had scenarios where you come around a corner. Okay, horde of knights is coming at us. Okay, tough, but we can handle this. Eximus proc happens. On absolute, that means 3 Eximus spawn at the same time. So Lictor, Ravener, and Biovore all spawn.
Yay.
Then you hear the last thing you want to hear, which is the roar, because a Carnifex has also spawned. It
Fantastic.
turns regular operations missions into siege.
Yeah.
Suddenly you have siege numbers of enemies running around. But siege maps are big boxes.
They are. And they can
Operations
handle
maps
that
are
mess.
Fucking hallways.
Yeah, they are. You're like, I'm just trying to get to the elevator and push the button.
I'm just trying to go to the elevator, and there's a fucking Carnifex in my way, and I can't do anything to stop it. Oh, it's like...
That's so funny.
It has been the most... Because there are weird ones where the challenge is super easy. Like, even on a normal difficulty, is like, this doesn't feel like normal. This feels like easy. Like, there's no challenge here. And then there's hard mode weekly challenges that feel impossible at times. And you have to grit and grind your teeth and play in a very particular pattern to get through stuff.
And there are
Which
even...
is all to say,
Yeah.
because of this, I have now started to prestige my characters.
So that's what got you. Okay.
That's what got me, where it's like, baseline, this is not enough. I do not have, like, I need that slight edge from the prestige system to give me just a bit more. Say, for example, with the reduced health modifier. Okay, reduced health. But I can undercut that with perks that give me more bonus health so that the percentages equal out to each other, where suddenly a 66% decrease suddenly becomes only a 50% decrease when I have 15% more. Or a 40% increase on med stims, so I can hold on to that stim and use it when I need to.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And we have a video of one of the missions where we were being hunted by the Lictor, and we had 30 meters of total darkness around us. So at 30 meters in any direction was just pure black nothingness. Like, and we were fighting bosses, looking for objectives, and it made playing the game different.
For when the Shrouded by Darkness modifier comes to Obelisk.
Yeah.
Because I played Obelisk the other day for just leveling. I got lost, and there was no modifier in the tunnels.
Well, there you go.
I have also found I've started using block weapons.
Uh-oh. A change in playstyle has happened.
Because
we've gone from fencing weapons
I love my fencing chainsword. Like the parries are the best thing in the world. What's the one character parries don't feel good on?
Was it Bulwark?
It's Bulwark.
Where it's like extra hard.
The one character that is fun to play with heavy hitting melee weapons.
Yeah. That's my soul guy, man.
The new move with the Bulwark shield, where you can do the charge up and dash. I was watching people use that not as an offensive tool, but as a movement tool.
Interesting.
When it was the weekly mission for exfiltration with reduced health, more Minoris, people were doing speedrun stuff of like, fuck killing anything, just get to that elevator. And they would use the Bulwark shield charge to just rapid skip through the level.
Interesting.
Like, it is, if you can do the flick pattern, it is like 2 to 2.5 times faster than sprinting.
Huh.
It's
okay.
weird.
We're gonna have to mess with that after the pod. Yeah. No, we're gonna do a deep dive on that. Yeah. Because I know you sent me the video of showing me that move, but I actually haven't had time to test it.
And you can also use it to stun lock Hellbrutes.
Yeah. Could be handy in Siege or when we're fighting siege amounts of enemies in stratagem missions.
In encounters,
in our main story kind of missions, yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. I like the challenges, and I think it, like you said, it provides a refresh to, some missions that have kind of gotten stale as we've played them dozens of times by now. It gives us whole new purpose to go back into the game and to unlock this new currency and purchase all these new weapons and armor pieces. And we've already done a deep dive. I'm showing some of the August patch notes, community update on the screen. We've already done a deep dive on this. We can't do it again, guys. It was like 2 hours of reacting to minute-long videos and looking at screenshots. But I'm just kind of showing you guys now that there's just a substantive amount of content for this game, and Update 10 has absolutely made this game incredibly replayable. aside from the siege mode, just fighting against hordes and hordes of enemies and getting tons and tons of XP. If there were ever a better time to get in this game, it's probably now.
Yeah.
Because not only do you
Well,
have year 1, but you have the year 2 battle plan that just dropped. Yeah, go ahead.
So I did some testing because I was interested to know, like, when I was in the midst of really like power leveling stuff. A normal mission, depending on your difficulty, runs you X amount of XP. It's usually about, I think, because I usually play on average, I just like the pace of average, and I just do average quick match, so you get the 1,000 baseline plus the additional 200 for quick match, and then hopefully you can find the gene seed while doing that, and you can get close to like 1,800.
Hey.
What's interesting, 5 waves of hard mode siege. Do you know how much XP that is?
Not off the top of my head. It's more than standard siege, but
so 5 waves of hard mode siege is about 3,600.
Okay.
10 waves just doing the first 2 areas is 9,000.
Damn.
So hard mode siege for me has been like, just do 5 and then leave. So in those first 5, whatever points you get, burn them, because who cares? I'm not waiting on a dreadnought.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to survive 5 waves to get my XP and leave.
And also those first 5 waves they're pretty tense. Like hard mode siege starts off
is rough.
At like what, maybe 10 or 15 waves of normal siege feels like. Like once you hit that point, that's like where hard mode starts. It's like very intense, heavy combat.
Yeah. So if you can make it through even just 5 waves of hard mode siege, that is like roughly 3 average missions.
Okay. And 3 average missions can take a lot longer.
Take a while.
To complete compared to siege, a couple rounds.
Yeah.
And time flies when you're having fun too. So there's that as well. I love it. Brief couple comments here coming through. I think Turbo Dad was saying just got Helldivers and loving it. Never had so much fun dying. core component of the game there. I think there was also something else. Did we have? Oh yeah, that's right. Pepsi was telling me about Kojima Productions having their 10th anniversary live stream on IGN. We'll definitely dig into that. I'm gonna check and take a look at it. Obviously, I can't cover it now. But I want to see, because I know they said that they were probably going to reveal some new things, or maybe just show some things and talk about what the future is going to be for Kojima Productions. So yeah, we'll definitely tap into that, because I'm curious. I'm curious what Kojima's cooking, and it's
what the next plan is.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else on Space Marine 2?
Don't think so.
If anything, we'll tap into it while we're playing it later.
Really
Yeah, it's just in a really good state, and I couldn't have imagined the game getting so much better than it already was at launch.
Yep.
Really solid game, and like you said, I think during one of our last streams, you were like, "This might be the best like Warhammer game ever." Like,
it's the most replayable. Like it is so easy to just keep playing it, and it just runs. Like,
it works.
I've never had to fight with this thing. And say I play this game at 30, I probably could play it at 60 and it might be running a little hot on my machine, but it doesn't feel bad to play it at 30. It feels good. Like, I've gotten used to playing it at 30.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I think the last thing we want to talk about here on the podcast is I recently read through both the sort of Kindle version, and then I also had the audiobook in my ears while I was on vacation, and I listened to the Warhammer 40K book titled First and Only, a Gaunt's Ghosts novel by Dan Abnett. And I actually really enjoyed this. I had no idea how it was going to be going in, because you recommended this as a really good like starting place for, hey, if you want to read Warhammer stuff, like start here, see how you like it, and then from there, like, you know, maybe pick a chapter that you really like or some sort of story that you find really intriguing, and then just buy that book and give it a listen or give it a read or whatever. So there was no telling how this was going to go for me. I was like, I'm not used to how Warhammer books read. I have no idea how they read. I have nothing to assess going in. And I have to say the narration was absolutely incredible. I think we teased this a little bit talking during Monster Hunter, but go ahead and share some insights about how great some of the voice acting is in listening to the audiobook. And keep in mind, this is just one man reading this.
So 40K books have probably some of the best audiobook talent in the business, I would say. And what you will often find is if you have a good 40K writer, they keep writing new books. If you have a good 40K narrator, they keep reading those books. And oftentimes you get pairings. So you have Dan Abnett, who has written a lot of 40K books, like possibly probably the most out of anybody. There might be some others that are close to his total. And then you have Toby Longworth, the narrator. And Toby's narrated every Gaunt's book, many of the Horus Heresy era books, and just so many other 40K novels in general. Toby's range is exceptional.
Yes.
Like, there is no other voice for Gaunt and his ghost other than Toby Longworth. He is what I hear when I see these pictures of Ibrahim Gaunt and his cavalcade of warriors. He has exceptional range from all the different characters within the Tanith, Gaunt, all the different commanding officers within the Guard, Inquisitors, Psychers, regiments of Guard from other nationalities.
Yep.
He can do all of it. And that's just what he does in First and Only. That's not including what he does for voicing stuff like Horus Lupercal and Sanguinius and Primarchs and some of the biggest characters of 40K. So the experience of listening to 40K books is probably the best way to do it. If you can honestly do what Aaron did, which is the combined both form factors of physically reading it and listening to it at the same time, it's probably the best experience you can have, and it probably allows you to digest the colossal amount of information and descriptive text that these books throw at you.
Very true. They do have a lot of big words, you know, with some of the way that Warhammer sort of words things, you know. I forget the name of the academy that Ibram goes to, but it's like a fucking
the Scola Progenium.
Yeah, I was like, I need to maybe just Google what both of those words mean to just fully, like, I'm, they're
They couldn't
the
just
Adeptus
call
Mechanicus
it, like,
and the,
they
it's
couldn't
just like
just call
these
it
fucking-
guard school. They had to
No.
come up with their own fancy name for it.
They absolutely did, yeah. But I innately knew that I was like, oh, this feels like an academy, and he's learning how to eventually become a commissar. But I also have to mention the voice he did for the Vitrian Dragoon guy, like, because they all kind of have this like African accent. I was like, this is the same guy, just like pulling a Black Panther accent here from like Wakanda.
He can do that.
Like, he did it, man, and it was incredible. And even switching to the villains and the other guy who I can't say a lot about him because Haldane. But just how Haldane sounds at the early on and how he sounds later
down.
I was like, how does the human voice sound so throaty and with tubes and cables and wires holding someone together? How do you imagine what that guy would sound like? He does it. And even those throaty, kind of whispery, ghastly voices that he pulls. What was his name? It wasn't Flens, I don't think.
Oh, it's Flens.
Was it Flens?
Flens.
Was it Flens?
Flens.
Flens.
Yeah, he's the guard.
Was he that
guard
throaty guy that sounds like he's falling apart?
Yeah, the Mr. Well, and we'll talk about it more when we get into spoilers, but this book does a really good job of painting all sides of the Imperial Guard for good and bad.
Yes.
And this book is very interesting in terms of the way it poses villains. And who those villains are, what side their uniform says they are on. I think it's a fantastic book. It's probably one of the best introductions to 40K that you can kind of have. It, again, something you said, I believe, when we were playing Monster Hunter, is that you were stunned when you learned that this is Dan's first book that he wrote 20-something years ago. And it's like, okay, how good can it be? Yeah.
I was like, if it's his first book, it can't be, the Fellowship of the Ring quality.
Right. Nobody comes out swinging with their first one. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I was absolutely spellbound, and it was a page turner, and I loved everything about it, and I immediately picked up. So not only did I have it on Kindle, but I grabbed that book, which is called The Founding, and it has the first 3 stories, right? So it's got First and Only, and then it's got Ghostmaker, and I forget the other one.
Yeah, because I have my Audible open on my phone here. Let me see what the order is.
Yeah.
So the order for Gaunt's Ghost goes First and Only, Ghostmaker, Necropolis.
Yep, that's the third one.
That's the third one. And then 4 is Honor Guard. 5 is Guns of Tanith. 6 is Straight Silver. 7 is Sabbath Martyr. 8 is Traitor General. 9 is His Last Command. 10 is Armor of Contempt. 11 is Only in Death. 12 is Blood Pact. 13 is Salvation Reach. 14 is the War Master. 15 is Anarch. And 16 is the Sabbat War. Every single one of those is written by Dan.
That's insane that he never
That's just Gaunt's Ghosts.
And he never handed it off. He was like, oh, this is my baby.
The last book involves some other writers, but that was at the point where Dan had ascended to not just being a writer, but also being basically the overseer for most of 40K's book division.
That's an incredible privilege to have gone from, hey, this is my first book 20 years ago, to I am now the commander of the Warhammer loreverse for 40K.
Yeah. So let me see here. Now, unfortunately, it counts the translations here too, but on Audible, when you look at Dan's name, it says 139 titles.
That's believable at this point, yeah. I don't know how the output is. I feel like you'd have to be 139 years old or more to, because most people it takes some years. Right.
Like, here's the thing. This is a very much a Stephen King versus George R.R. Martin situation of like, how fast does Dan write?
Yeah.
Because like Stephen King is notorious for he writes very quickly. Where he can kind of churn out X amount. He tries to do like a book quite frequently, where it's like a couple of years might go by and it's like, how much have you written, George? It's like, I wrote a page.
Yeah, George.
It's like, come on, George.
Oh, George. He was like, oh, I decided to work with, this guy and, make this, this Elden Ring game. I, came up with some ideas for that instead of fucking finishing Game of Thrones. It's like he goes off on a side quest tangent and works with Miyazaki to come up with Elden Ring stuff. It's insane.
Yeah.
The distractions. But yeah, as Pepsi brings up here, a big jump as long as they're a great writer. Really love when games, movies, shows get novels. I can't recommend this one enough, guys. Like, it was a 10-hour listen, and it was like, 286 pages, something like that? We're in that range.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like the longest read ever, and it's, but I think it does a really good job of telling both, sort of a present-day story of what Ibram and the ghosts are doing, and then it also, as Andrew kind of talked about, a lot of these stories have a B-line story of, like, here's the B story of, like, oh, it's doing little flashbacks and memories of what Ibram was doing when he was younger, and I feel like it always hits, like, his pacing of the way he wrote that book is just so perfect, because at every clutch moment where something big happens or some battle is won and you're ready to like see what happens next, bam, he hits you with like a memory and it ties into the story and it makes you think for a little while. So you're thinking about, oh, this is that thing from his past. I need to keep reading forward in the present and see how this, his past is going to play into his present storyline as well. And I have to say, I think the introduction, which I'm not going to spoil, we'll talk about that later. I think the introduction does a really, really good job of foreshadowing and setting up what the entire book is going to be about. And it's just glorious the way it comes together. I think they did a really good job with that. And it introduces you to the universe in a really good way. And I think the way that as we talked about this when we were playing Darktide and stuff, we were like, what's the best way for, like, for example, with Amazon?
Where's the starting point?
Yeah, where do you start? How do you make, like, the first good movie in the MCU of Warhammer? Like, what do you do? Do you just do Titus and the Space Marines? Do you jump into Horus Heresy? Do you tell a story about the Salamanders instead? Like, no, maybe you start with Gaunt's Ghosts,
You like this and Eisenhorn are the two. It's like, start here, please.
Boots on the ground.
You can't, like, especially Heresy. Heresy is like, that's like late stage Marvel stuff.
Yes.
In terms of what you have to build up to. Like, I'm not saying I don't want it.
Yeah.
I really do want it. But you can't just go, oh, we're starting with the heresy. It's like, people aren't ready.
No one's going to
People are
understand
not
the
ready with
significance of
what the
it.
fuck is going on.
Yeah. You can't
So,
do
yeah,
Infinity War out the
absolutely
gate.
You can't do Infinity War out the gate. You got to build up to it, and you got to take years to build up to it. So yeah, doing like, I would absolutely adore a Gaunt's Ghost.
Right?
Like Band of Brothers style TV series.
Yeah. That could rock,
Like,
dude.
It because the thing is, it would satisfy all the 40K crowd, and it would bring a whole bunch of people in, and it's like, oh, this was a good show. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. And I think it also, the fact that it just doesn't have Space Marines, it keeps you with a grounded, very human adventure, even though the threats they're facing might be much larger and different throughout the story. Not skipping to the super-powered gods and the psychers and all the really crazy, intense stuff that we see in Space Marine. It's a good place to start. It's almost like you start with little films like The Origin of Captain America, and you start with Guardians of the Galaxy and just their ragtag adventures, and you don't really get into the Avengers and Infinity War and all these things right off the gate. So you'd kind of have to do the same thing with Warhammer.
Yeah.
With as much lore as there is in that universe. You got to start small, and that's kind of why we were also really excited about Darktide as both just as a fun game that we play, but also as this could very well be a lot of people's introduction to Warhammer, and it's just you're playing as worthless prisoners from, who knows where, going into the worst situation ever with the smallest amount of weaponry. You're not going in like Marines.
What does it feel like to hold a lasgun and fight against hordes of opponents with it?
Yes. Just to be a careless nobody, worthless human or ogre in the Warhammer universe, to be at pretty much practically the bottom of the food chain. I mean, maybe there's slaves and other things that are much, much lower than people that are prison, but you're pretty
one
low.
Of the lowest rungs of the ladder, yeah.
Yeah, the guardsmen are higher up than you, huh?
Yeah. Well, they're part of the actual guard. You're a penal servant that was spared execution because of circumstance.
Yeah, we needed more fodder to throw into the war. Man, that is so awesome. I loved it, man, and I'm excited to read more, and I think you already have some recommendations of where I should go next.
Oh, yeah. I'm about 3 hours away from finishing Carcharodon's 2.
Yeah.
Outer Dark, the second book of the Carcharodon series, written by Robbie McNiven. I'll attempt to pronounce his name as that.
Yeah, please.
While there was some slow parts of the book, it is now in a very interesting part. And I'm really excited to see what these last 3 hours take me. The first book of that, Red Tithe, might be up there as one of my favorite Space Marine books. And is really well done. So I might nudge you towards Red Tithe because I think you will really like Red Tithe. Because it's although it might be interesting to read another Space Marine book before you read Red Tithe to understand the difference between regular Marines and the Carcharodons, because the Carcharodons are weird.
That might be good, yeah, because I think
yeah,
action is very strange.
And one day I'll be like, all right, read Horus Rising.
Yeah, which I already
But
grabbed. I was
not
like, I
yet.
saw it. I saw it, and I was like, it's going to be a must-read, man.
Potentially one of the best, if not the best 40K book, but you can't, like we said with adapting it to the screen, you can't start with the heresy.
Yeah.
Because the heresy doesn't hit as hard, and if you don't like build up and see, and then you go read it and you go, oh, now I get it.
Mm-hmm. And I just picked it up because you showed me that animated video of Horus Heresy, which wasn't even a tease for like a series or a movie or a TV show.
To promote the new Saturnine box.
Stupid. Hate it so much. They're literally just throwing money out the window at that point. They're like, you made this dope animation, which is probably one of the coolest things other than Stardies that I've seen that looked absolutely incredible and just showed my salamanders just shredding and getting shredded by the enemy. It was so cool. And I was like, I want to read that. So I just got it. It's a someday book for sure. So we'll hold on to it. And then I think the other one I grabbed was Dark Imperium because I like the cover and I think the back of the book really had some big words that sold me on it. If you want, I could read just the back of the book real quick.
Sure, go for it.
So it says, an era Indomitus novel. Fell times have come to the galaxy. Cadia has fallen. Destroyed by the onslaught of chaos, a great rift in the warp has opened, and from its depths spew demons and the horrors of old night. And keep in mind, those two words are capitalized, so that means something. But all hope is not lost. A hero, long absent, has returned, and with him comes the wrath of the Ultramarines reborn. Rabut Goloman? Is that how you say his name?
There are multiple different pronunciations of. I believe what they have said is close to the correct one is Rabute.
Rabute. Yeah, it's Roboute. Yeah. Rabute Goloman has arisen to lead the Imperium out of darkness on a crusade the likes of which has not been seen since the fabled days of the Emperor. But never before have the forces of ruin amassed in such numbers, and nowhere is safe from despoliation. From the dreaded scourge stars come the hordes of the Plague Father, Lord Nurgle, and their pestilent eye is fixed on Macragge. A lot of vocabulary words being used here. As the Indomitus Crusade rages on, Gulliman races to Ultramar, and a confrontation with the Death Guard. Ooh, all the vocabulary words right there. All the big catchphrases of little things that you've been feeding me. We've heard Gulliman's name mentioned throughout Space Marine. We've heard Macragge has been said in the voice lines over and over. We battled some of the forces of Nurgle in Darktide, right? Like some of the big nasty monster, snail, sludge, Jabba the Hutt looking guy. So this just the back of the book and the cover with, which I think that's Gulliman with the flame sword and the cannon strapped to his hand, and
that's Mr. Gilliman. That's. Oh boy, I wonder if Dark Imperium talks about what that sword is, because even just what that sword is like a whole thing in and of itself.
Everything has to be epic. Yeah.
Dark Imperium is written by Guy Haley. Guy Haley has written like 60 40K books.
Goodness sake.
And a lot of the newer era 40K is under his responsibility, but he's also written a bunch of Horus Heresy era stuff. And Dark Imperium is his most popular book.
Okay, so a pretty good random off the shelf buy. Because I wasn't even texting you. I was like, he might be asleep or in a totally different world while I'm out in the afternoon, just visiting every bookstore in town, half price books, and a couple other places, just trying to find some deals. It was cool. It was a good find. Well, anything else you want to add?
Nope, don't think so.
I think so. I think we nailed it right there. We've got quite a wide array of stuff here, and we're coming up on a 2.5 hour pod, which is pretty good length right there. But we hit all the things we want to talk about. Listen, you guys, if you'd like me to dive into a little bit more of a first and only spoiler cast, I can do that as a separate video. And I'll definitely make sure that it's labeled as such, so that those of you who want to read the book, because I know we've kind of got you, we got you on your with a nice little suspenseful lead in to just how great of an experience it is to maybe do that Audible trial where you get one book free and you get Audible for a month. And then, maybe pick it up on Kindle or pick up a hard copy if you want to follow along, which I think, allows you to focus more on what you're actually reading. You won't zone out while you're, driving or being driven somewhere or whatever it is you're doing. So, but I want to thank you all. I want to thank also Andrew here, Acting Relic, for joining us. And sharing your trip to Tokyo and to the Monster Hunter's Bar restaurant, and sharing all the wonderful parts of your trip, and of course deep dive into some of the week's news, which has been pretty chaotic and wild. One last comment. Pepsi says, Acting Relic, please do more travel vlogs. You have a quality voice, calm temperament, and nice editing skills. The travel vlogger in you must be unleashed. I think you already have a fan, man, and I'm with him. I would encourage you to do that too, as much as you can.
I'm hopefully going to do one more.
Yeah.
Sometime in December, I have a location planned out that I want to go to. So hopefully, I'll get at least one more that's similar to the one that I made for Tokyo.
That's awesome. Well, we'll be here for it. Absolutely. And gamers, make sure you do click his name in the title. Head over to his channel. You can find the link there. Takes you to his YouTube. He also live streams on Twitch. So twitch.tv/actingrelic, all one word, I believe. And you can also support over there and catch him whenever he's live doing his, was it the Elden Ring?
Keep what you kill run.
Yes.
So I'm only allowed to use armor, equipment, talismans, upgrade material that is dropped from any particular enemies or bosses. So no chests, no placed items, and no shops. I'm allowed to pick up additional golden seeds and sacred tears, just because I don't want to go crazy.
Yeah, no, that's not fun. If you cut that out.
But it has become an interesting expedition of okay, how much equipment is locked behind chests and stuff versus how much is dropped from independent enemies, and what can you do with the tools when you limit yourself down to that?
Yeah. It's a beautiful experiment and a fun way to both torture yourself and test your abilities. And it makes for a really fun watch. I actually really do enjoy when I get to watch part of the playthrough. It's fun. So once again, want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for your continued support. Appreciate all the likes and the birthday wishes. I really had a fantastic weekend, and I had a great time even playing games with everybody and enjoying my time here on the stream and sharing that moment with you all. We're actually going to pivot over to a Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 stream. So if you want to hang with us and enjoy more of the night as we nerd out on some more Warhammer and, play some games and see what new challenges await us this week on our weekly and daily stratagems, we'll check that out in a few moments. It should automatically redirect you over there. But once again, check out the podcast, the Shackcast. You can find it wherever you get podcasts. You can watch it on YouTube, live on video. Sometimes we do it as live streams, sometimes pre-recorded. But it's always a good time, always fun, and I'm super excited that we're closing in on 75 episodes. Will be our next one. That's quite a little landmark there. So we gotta keep it going, and we thank Andrew for being here. So once again, thank you all for watching. Take care, be safe, have a good night, and if you're down for some video games, catch us in a few moments. Take care, everyone. Bye.